Eleanor Thompson was 72 years old when everything changed. She had lived in her cozy ranch house in a quiet suburb of Charlotte, North Carolina for over 40 years. It was the home she and her late husband Robert bought shortly after they married. They raised 3 children there, 2 boys and a girl. Robert passed away 10 years earlier from cancer, leaving Eleanor alone, but independent. She managed just fine on her Social Security and a small pension. She gardened, tended to her flowers, and volunteered at the local senior center teaching knitting classes. Life was peaceful. She woke up each morning to the sound of birds outside her window. She brewed coffee in her old percolator, the one Robert gave her on their 20th anniversary. She sat on the porch swing reading the newspaper or a novel from the library. Her days were simple but full of small joys. Her eldest son Michael lived in Atlanta with his family. He called every Sunday to check on her. Her middle child David was in California working in tech. He sent cards on holidays, but visits were rare. Her youngest daughter Lisa, 38 at the time, had always been the one who struggled most. Lisa married young, had 2 kids quickly, and divorced after 5 years. Money was always tight for her. She worked part-time as a cashier, but childcare costs ate up most of her paycheck. Eleanor helped when she could, sending money for school supplies or clothes. But she never imagined it would come to this. One crisp autumn day, Lisa showed up at Eleanor's door with her 2 children, Emma, 8, and Jack, 6, along with suitcases. She said her apartment lease was up and the landlord raised the rent too high. Could she and the kids stay with Mom just for a little while until she got back on her feet? Eleanor loved her grandchildren. Of course she said yes. How could she turn away her own daughter? She hugged them all and showed them to the guest rooms. Emma and Jack were excited to be at Grandma's house. They ran around the backyard chasing leaves. Lisa looked relieved. "Thanks, Mom," she said. "I promise it won't be long." At first it was nice having the house full again. Eleanor cooked meals, helped with homework, and enjoyed the laughter of children. She made pancakes on weekends with fresh blueberries from the market. Emma loved helping in the kitchen, standing on a stool to stir the batter. Jack preferred playing outside, kicking a ball against the fence. Lisa helped a bit at first, washing dishes or folding laundry. But weeks turned into months. Lisa promised to look for a new place, but never seemed to find one. She said the market was tough. Apartments were expensive. Jobs didn't pay enough. Eleanor nodded, understanding. She remembered her own hard times when Robert was laid off in the 80s. They scrimped and saved to keep the house. Soon Eleanor noticed she was doing everything. She woke up early to make breakfast, packed lunches, drove the kids to school, picked them up, cooked dinner, did laundry, and put them to bed. Her routine changed completely. No more quiet mornings on the porch. Instead, she rushed around the kitchen packing sandwiches and fruit. The drive to school took 30 minutes each way in traffic. By afternoon she was tired, but had to help with homework. Emma struggled with math. Jack needed reading practice. Dinner was simple casseroles or pasta. Lisa often came home late, saying she was out job hunting or with friends. Sometimes she smelled of wine. Eleanor wondered but said nothing. On weekends Lisa would sleep in or go out, leaving Eleanor to watch the kids all day. Eleanor took them to the park or the library. She read stories to Jack about adventures in faraway lands. Emma drew pictures of their family, but Eleanor's back started to hurt from bending over to pick up toys. Her knees ached from standing too long. She missed her garden. The flowers wilted without her care. Friends at the senior center called to ask where she was. Why hadn't she come to knitting class? Eleanor made excuses. I'm busy with the grandkids, she said. They understood but urged her to visit soon. One evening after a particularly long day, Eleanor sat down exhausted. Lisa came home and plopped on the couch. Mom, can you watch the kids tomorrow night? I have a date. Eleanor looked at her. A date? When are you looking for a job, Lisa? Lisa rolled her eyes. I am, Mom. It's hard out there. You don't understand. Eleanor felt a pang. She did understand. But she also felt used. Still, she agreed. What else could she do? Eleanor tried to talk to Lisa a few days later. Honey, I love having you here, but I need some rest. I'm not as young as I used to be. Lisa got defensive. Mom, you're retired. What else do you have to do? The kids love being with you. If you kick us out, where will we go? You'll put your own daughter on the street. Eleanor felt guilty. She remembered how hard it was raising kids alone after Robert got sick. He battled cancer for 2 years. Eleanor worked as a secretary during the day and cared for him at night. The kids were teenagers, then helping as they could. But it was exhausting. She didn't want Lisa to go through that without support. So she kept quiet and kept going. Months passed. Winter came with cold winds and early darkness. Eleanor decorated the house for Christmas as she always did. She baked cookies with the kids. Emma helped hang ornaments on the tree. Jack strung popcorn for garlands. Lisa bought gifts, but Eleanor paid for most. On Christmas morning, the kids opened presents with glee. Eleanor smiled, but inside she felt empty. This wasn't how she pictured her retirement. She dreamed of traveling, seeing the Grand Canyon, or visiting old friends in Florida. Instead, she was a full-time nanny in her own home. Her body started protesting more. Her back ached from carrying groceries and kids. She had less energy for anything. One day, she forgot to take her blood pressure medicine. She felt dizzy driving home from school. That scared her. What if something happened while she had the kids? She confided in her son Michael during their Sunday call. Mom, you need to set some limits, he said. Lisa is taking advantage. Eleanor sighed. But she's family. Michael insisted. Family respects each other. Talk to her. Encouraged. Eleanor tried again. Lisa, I can't do this every day. I need help around here. Lisa snapped. Help? You're the one with the house and pension. I'm struggling to survive. Do you want us homeless? Eleanor felt tears well up. No, of course not. But I'm tired, Lisa. Lisa stormed out. The tension grew. The kids noticed. Emma asked Grandma why Mommy is mad. Eleanor hugged her. Grown-ups have worries, sweetie. It'll be okay. One evening after another long day, Lisa came home and announced she had enrolled in night classes to get a better job. That's great, dear, Eleanor said. But who will watch the kids? You will, Mom, Lisa replied. You're home anyway. Eleanor stared at her daughter. Something snapped inside her. No, Lisa. I won't. Not every night. I need time for myself too. Lisa exploded. You're selfish, Mom. After everything I've been through, you won't help your own family. If you don't want to help, then maybe we should leave. But where will we go? You'll feel guilty if we're homeless. Eleanor felt her heart race. But she stood firm. This is my house, Lisa. I love you and the kids. But I can't be your full-time caregiver anymore. You need to make a plan. Find childcare or adjust your schedule. I'm 72, not 22. Lisa glared at her. Fine. We'll see how you feel when we're gone. She grabbed her coat and left, slamming the door. The next weeks were tense. Lisa barely spoke to her. The kids sensed the tension and acted out. Jack threw tantrums. Emma withdrew. Eleanor felt awful. Was she a bad mother? A bad grandmother? She lay awake at night wondering if she was wrong. Memories flooded back. She thought of her own mother who lived with them for a while after Dad died. But her mother helped without being asked and respected boundaries. Why couldn't Lisa do the same? Then she remembered something Robert used to say. Love doesn't mean saying yes to everything. It means respecting yourself too. Robert was wise like that. He taught her to stand up for herself during tough times. Eleanor decided to seek advice. She called the local area agency on aging. A kind voice answered. "How can we help?" Eleanor explained her situation. The woman listened patiently. "You're not alone," she said. "Many seniors face this. We have counselors who can help." They connected her to a counselor named Sarah who specialized in family dynamics for seniors. Sarah called the next day. "Tell me what's going on." Eleanor poured out her story. The counselor listened and said, "What you're experiencing is common. Many older women feel obligated to sacrifice their independence for family. But you have the right to boundaries. Your health and happiness matter. Have you considered legal options?" Eleanor was surprised. "Legal? Like what?" Sarah explained. "Since it's your house, you can set rules. If needed, you could evict, but that's last resort. First, try mediation." Sarah suggested resources. Support groups for grandparents raising grandkids. Financial aid for single moms. Eleanor took notes. She felt a spark of hope. Maybe she wasn't powerless. She joined an online support group for seniors. Women shared similar stories. One said her son expected her to babysit daily. She said no, and now they have a better relationship. Another talked about guilt. "It's hard but necessary." Encouraged Eleanor sat down with Lisa again. This time she was calm and clear. "I want you here, but things have to change. You need to contribute to chores, pay a small amount toward bills, and handle most of the childcare. Or you need to find your own place within 3 months. I'll help you look for affordable housing and childcare assistance. There are programs in North Carolina for single moms." Lisa cried and accused Eleanor of not caring. "Why are you doing this, Mom? I thought you loved us." Eleanor held her hand. "I do love you. That's why I'm doing this. For all of us." Lisa resisted at first. She sulked and made passive comments. But deep down she knew her mom was right. She started applying for better jobs. Eleanor sat with her at the computer filling out forms. Lisa applied for a position as a medical assistant. She had some experience from volunteering. Meanwhile, Eleanor researched housing. She found a program called Section 8 that helped with rent. Lisa qualified, but there was a waiting list. They applied anyway. Eleanor also looked into childcare. The local YMCA offered after-school programs at low cost. Lisa enrolled the kids. It wasn't free, but better than nothing. Slowly, Lisa took more responsibility. She cooked some nights simple meals like spaghetti or grilled cheese. She handled bedtime routines, reading to Jack, and helping Emma with baths. The house felt less like a burden to Eleanor. She even had time to tend her garden again. The flowers perked up with water and care. But change wasn't easy. There were setbacks. Lisa got rejected from a job and came home upset. She yelled at Eleanor. "This is your fault. If you helped more, I could focus." Eleanor stayed calm. "No, Lisa. This is on you to build your life." Lisa apologized later. "You're right, Mom. I'm scared." Eleanor hugged her. "I know. But you can do this. 6 months later, Lisa got the medical assistant job. It paid better with benefits. She worked days so could drop the kids at school. The after-school program handled afternoons. Soon her Section 8 voucher came through. She found a small apartment nearby, 2 bedrooms, clean and safe. Moving day was bittersweet. The kids packed their toys. Emma cried, "I don't want to leave Grandma." Eleanor knelt down. "You'll visit often, sweetie. It's close by." Lisa and Eleanor loaded boxes into the car. As they drove to the new place, Lisa said, "Thanks, Mom, for everything, even pushing me." Eleanor smiled. "You're welcome. I'm proud of you." They unpacked and set up the apartment. It felt fresh, a new start. The kids ran around excited about their rooms. Eleanor missed them at first. The house felt quiet again, too quiet. She wandered the rooms, remembering the chaos. But then something wonderful happened. She reclaimed her life. With time on her hands, she joined a painting class at the community center. She had always wanted to try watercolor, but never had time. The teacher, Mrs. Hayes, was patient. "Start with basics," she said. Eleanor bought brushes and paper. Her first paintings were simple landscapes of her garden. Greens and yellows blended softly. She made mistakes but learned. Soon she was entering local art shows. One of her pieces, a still life of flowers, won a ribbon at the county fair. Blue for 3rd place. She beamed with pride. Friends congratulated her. "You have talent, Eleanor." She laughed. "Just beginner's luck." But it felt good. She started traveling with a senior group. First, a bus trip to the mountains in Asheville. They hiked easy trails, saw waterfalls. Eleanor breathed fresh air, felt alive. Then a cruise to the Bahamas with new friends from the center. Sunsets on the deck, piña coladas, laughter. She sent postcards to her kids. "Having fun. Miss you." Her sons noticed the change. Michael visited more. "Mom, you look younger," he said. David flew in for a week. They talked about her adventures. Lisa and the grandkids came over weekends. Eleanor babysat occasionally, but on her terms. When she said no, Lisa respected it and found other arrangements. One Saturday, Lisa asked, "Can you watch them tonight? I have class." Eleanor checked her calendar. "Sorry, dear, I have painting group." Lisa nodded. "Okay, I'll ask a friend." No guilt, no fights. Eleanor explored more. She took a cooking class learning Italian dishes. She made pasta from scratch, invited friends over. Laughter filled the house again, but her way. She volunteered at the library reading to children. Not daily, just twice a week. She joined a book club discussing mysteries and romances. Her world expanded. Now at 78, Eleanor looks back with pride. She tells her story at the senior center to other women facing similar situations. "You raised your family," she says. "Now it's time to live for yourself. Don't let guilt steal your golden years. Reclaim your dignity. Set boundaries. Say no when you need to." Life after 70 can be the best chapter yet. Many women nod in recognition. One shares her own tale of a demanding son. Another asks for advice on talking to her daughter. Eleanor listens, offers tips. Start small. Be firm but kind. Eleanor's bravery inspires them. She proved it's never too late to stand up for yourself, to choose independence over obligation, to reclaim dignity in later life. But her journey didn't stop there. As the years passed, Eleanor faced new challenges. At 74, she noticed her vision blurring. Doctors said cataracts common at her age. Surgery was needed. She worried. who would care for her after. Lisa offered, "Mom, I'll stay with you." Eleanor accepted, grateful. The roles reversed briefly. Lisa drove her to the hospital, held her hand. Recovery was quick. Eleanor saw clearly again, colors brighter. That experience strengthened their bond. Lisa confided her own struggles. Dating was hard. Trust issues from the divorce. Eleanor listened. "You deserve happiness, dear. Take your time." Lisa met someone eventually, a kind man named Tom. He worked as a mechanic. They dated slowly. Eleanor met him over dinner. He was polite, brought flowers. The kids liked him. Eleanor also dealt with health scares. A fall in the garden twisted her ankle. She called Michael. He came, helped her to the doctor. Sprain, not break. Rest it, Mom. She used a cane for weeks. It reminded her of vulnerability. She installed grab bars in the bathroom, non-slip mats. Safety first. Friends from the center checked on her, brought meals. Community mattered. She traveled more. A trip to New York with the senior group. They saw Broadway shows, walked Central Park. Eleanor marveled at the city lights. So different from Charlotte. Another journey to the West Coast, visiting David. They toured San Francisco, rode cable cars. She met his partner, enjoyed family time. Back home, she painted scenes from her trips. Golden Gate Bridge in sunset hues. At 76, Eleanor faced loss. Her best friend from knitting class passed away. Grief hit hard. They shared so much over years. Eleanor attended the funeral, spoke fondly. It made her reflect on life. She wrote in a journal daily thoughts. Gratitude for each day. She started a memoir class at the center, writing her story. From childhood in rural North Carolina to marriage, kids, widowhood, and now freedom. Words flowed. Painful parts, joyful ones. Lisa's life improved. She advanced at work, became a supervisor. Tom proposed. They married in a small ceremony. Eleanor walked her down the aisle, tears in eyes. Proud moment. The kids grew. Emma, 12, now interested in art like grandma. They painted together on visits. Jack, 10, played soccer. Eleanor attended games, cheering loudly. Eleanor turned 78 in style. Family threw a party in her backyard. Balloons, cake. Michael and David came with families. Grandkids ran around. Lisa toasted. To Mom, the strongest woman I know. Thanks for teaching me independence. Eleanor blew out candles. Wish for more adventures. She continued advocating. Spoke at a local conference on elder rights. Shared her story to a room of seniors and professionals. Applause followed. One woman approached after. Your words gave me courage. I'm setting boundaries today. Eleanor smiled. Good for you. Health-wise, she stayed active. Yoga for seniors kept her flexible. Walks in the neighborhood. Doctor visits regular. Blood pressure stable. She ate well, veggies from her garden. Slept better, no more worries keeping her up. Social life bloomed. Dated a gentleman from book club. Widower named Henry. They went to movies, dinners. Companionship, nice. No ruse. He respected her space. They traveled together a weekend in Charleston. Historic walks, beach strolls. Eleanor's art evolved. She sold pieces at craft fairs. Donated proceeds to senior programs. One painting hung in the center lobby. Signed Eleanor Thompson. Pride swelled. Looking ahead, she planned more. A European trip, perhaps Italy for the food and art. Or Alaska cruise for nature. Dreams big. She mentored young women too. Lisa's friends sought advice. How to balance family and self. Eleanor shared wisdom. Listen to your heart. Respect yourself. Her story spread. A local paper featured her. Brave widow reclaims life. Photo of her painting. Readers wrote letters. Inspired me, one said. Eleanor replied, "You can do it too." At 78, Eleanor knows life is precious. She cherishes moments. Sunrise coffee. Grandkids hugs. Paint on canvas. Friends laughter. No regrets. She reclaimed dignity not just once but daily. Choosing joy over duty. Independence over guilt. Her golden years shine bright. Many follow her example. Seniors assert rights. Families listen. Change ripples. Eleanor's legacy. Strength in later life. Proof age is no barrier to freedom. But let's go deeper into her early years to understand her resilience. Eleanor was born in 1947 in a small town near Raleigh. Her parents farmers, hardworking. Dad tended crops, mom raised chickens and kids. Eleanor, the middle of 5 siblings. She helped on the farm milking cows, picking vegetables. School was a one-room building. She walked miles each day. Loved reading borrowed books from the teacher. At 16, she met Robert at a church picnic. He was 18, tall, kind. They danced under string lights. Courted for 2 years. Married in 1965. Moved to Charlotte for his job in manufacturing. Eleanor worked as a waitress, saved for their house. First child Michael born in 1967. Joyful but hard. No maternity leave. Back to work soon. David came in 1970, Lisa in 1975. Family complete. Robert advanced to supervisor. Eleanor became a secretary at a law firm. Balanced work-home. PTA meetings, bake sales. Weekends, picnics, parks. Challenges came. Recession in the 70s. Robert laid off briefly. They tightened belts. Eleanor sewed clothes, canned food. In the 80s, Robert's cancer diagnosis. Shocking. Treatments, chemo, radiation. Eleanor nursed him, drove to appointments. Kids helped. Michael mowed lawns for money. David babysat Lisa. Community supported meals, prayers. Robert fought 2 years. Passed in 1990. Eleanor devastated. 43, widowed. But she persevered. Kept the job, raised the kids. Michael to college on scholarship. David tech school. Lisa high school, then marriage. Retirement at 65. Pension, Social Security. House paid off. Freedom at last. Until Lisa's arrival. That chapter tested her. But she emerged stronger. Now she teaches others. Workshops on boundaries. Role-play scenarios. Women practice saying no. Laughter mixes with tears. Healing happens. Eleanor's days full. Morning yoga. Afternoon painting. Evenings reading or calls. Weekends family or travel. Balance perfect. One recent adventure. Road trip to Florida with Henry. Visited beaches, Disney with grandkids. Magic Kingdom rides. Eleanor on roller coasters laughing. Young at heart. Health tips she shares. Stay moving. Mind body. Puzzles for brain. Walks for body. Positivity for soul. Her memoir nears completion. Title, Reclaiming My Days. Publisher interested. Perhaps book deal. Inspiration endless. Eleanor Thompson, symbol of dignity. Later life reborn. Brave woman indeed.